Hey everybody, welcome back to another reaction. Your boy Lance here for episode 9 of Gnosia. Yeah, so we're in the world of Gnosia now. So let's find out if we get to learn anything more about what they actually are and what their purpose may be. So let's find out. I'm done for. Just abandon me. You sure are, buddy. I mean, this is obviously going to be a plot point at one point. It had to have been. I would have been severely disappointed if we, would have gone through the whole game and the anime without having a loop where we're not one. Okay, so it's not... Okay, so I was thinking it was actually a legit world, but we're just in a normal gameplay, but we have to... So there's three of us, there's three Gnosia in this loop. But what? Well, no one ever really wants to die. Yeah. It's the whole point though, right? If you're... If you are this, you have to play the best of your ability to roll, like Setsu was trying to tell them. We know it's Comet, Shaming, and us. We have a Doctor and a Guardian Angel. I'm very curious to see like the work part, right? Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to make yourself the Doctor now. You're just a target. And the Guardian Angel should never out themselves. At least, not this early. I love Setsu has the same bad habit I have. Pulling on their hair. I do that too when I'm in deep thought. I generally cut my hair pretty short now though. Unfortunately. Wait. Yuri. Yeah. Does Setsu have this ability thing? Remember, Setsu could do this bump thing. Ooh. Yeah. The last thing that gets left out. I think, man, Rakio saw that little interaction. Man, though, I would mean, if I was playing this version, right, of Werewolf, I'd do the same thing. If someone was that nervous, but granted, this is supposed to be the first time everyone's supposed to be meeting each other. Gina, damn, Gina taking strays again, man. Poor Gina. Poor Gina. Getting taken out. A little relieved. Wait, I missed that, writing a note down, sorry. Are you afraid of being attacked by the Gnosia? Yeah, they brought that point up before, right? With that, what actually happens to somebody when they're taken over by one of these things and what happens to their soul and
これは僕のことを信頼している。うまく利用すれば。
ぼーっと見つめちゃってかわいすぎじゃね？
あ、いや、どうする？本物のエンジニアを味方に引き込むことができる。
But if you take the engineer out,
でも、お互いグノーシアかもしれないんだ。下手な情報交換をやめよう。
smart.
かちゅーつまんねえの。
ダメだな、僕は。
Yeah, I'm with Yuri there. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of having to be the werewolf, the imposter, whatever you want to call it. This is what I was waiting for. What happens during warp?
もしあの世界。
しかし静かなもんだな。時間の止まった世界。
And is it because they're Gnosia that they can
ちょっと懐かしいのかもしれない。
walk through?
懐かしい。
Oh yeah, it's because they are, but I'm just saying like it's like a weird time dilation thing.
乙
Rakio.
女にしてくれねえか。
乙女？
もしかの話だぜ。俺らがミスって乙女が生き残ってもまた研究所に戻るだけだろう。
Yeah, okay.
動物としてよ。
They're harkening back
でも
to
乙女は研究所の人はいい人だって。
なわけねえだろう。いくら知性化したって向こうにとっちゃ実験体でしかねえ。
Shuming cares
用がなく
about Atome.
乙女は知らねえだろうけどな。
どうするの？
わかった。乙女にしよう。
That was a wild look. Yeah, I want to see how this looks.
ああ、これが汚染された影響なのかな。なんとなくわかる。どうすればいいのか。
I do not like that sound. Oh, that look. Oh.
どっちが残酷なんだろうな。こうやって何も知らずやられんのと自分が
I legit got chills right now.
分かってんのと
The music's really good touch. Okay.
これ
They
で
got
終わり？
ああ
completely deleted from existence. So it's not necessarily murder.
本物のドクターが名乗り出る。ユリ、
誰かグノーシアだって言って追い込んだ方がいいのかな。
いや、ラキオもユリコもいる。下手に嘘をつくとバレる可能性が高い。
I still think Rakio saw that little exchange between you two.
いいの？
And Rakio is just trying to play the long
エンジニア二
con
人がどちらも嘘をついてないとなると
by
判断が難しくなる。明日は
by finding a way to convince the others.
心配だったんだ。
ほら言ったろ。僕嘘を見破るのは得意だけどつくのは下手だって。よかったんで言って。
Very lonely and isolated life they have to live as children. Her dream was to go to space. Be a captain, if I'm correctly, right?
それを見て思
Damn.
ったんだ。生き残ったら宇宙を冒険しようって。それから宇宙に出るまで大変だったけどね。グノーシアになった時はもうそれも難しいって思ったけど、この宇宙船乗っ取ればまだできるよね。
Once again,
できるよ。
once again,
そうだ。ループしてない人には。
yeah,
本当？
ここは唯一
this is their only one world. But once again, the Gnosia don't
宇宙を
change you.
冒険しよう。
マジで言ってる？
あ
ああ、言っとくけど、
Yeah,
僕が
captain.
船長だからね。ユーリは僕の手下ってことで。
あ、
Once again, man, this the show, nothing but compelling characters for me. I think there's so many good, compelling characters.
反応がないようです。守護天使
Yeah, I was so curious that how the Gnosia took somebody out. I always thought it was murder, but it's not. It's literally
こうなるのは分かっていたこと。さあ、
literally
そうだね。
erased from existence.
会議を始めよう。
I'm surprised though.
今日はまず報告からしたい
I'm
と思う。
surprised Yuri.
ドクターの私から。
お説がドクターだったのか
I'm surprised Yuri
一
didn't.
日目は黙っていたけどね。
I guess you're not. You shouldn't need to figure it out, but
本物のドクターは俺だぜ。ってことはだ、説は俺を敵に回すことになっちまうぜ。
それで全然構わないよ。
yeah, Setsu'd be fine with that.
嫌われたもんだな。
Never has. Not in any loop we've seen so far.
報告するぜ。ジナはグノーシアだ。俺のセンサーはビンビンだからな。
ジナは人間だった。間違いない。
ほう。
But yeah, I was trying to say, I'm surprised Yuri didn't try to figure out who voted for them because I would immediately assume it was
二人
Setsu.
のうち片方は嘘をついていることが確定。シャーミンが少しでも怪しまれたら間違いなく投票される。
Yeah,
僕が会議をうまく誘導しないと。
I don't think this is gonna go as smoothly as you think it's going to go.
SQ 軍曹より報告します。なんと SQ ちゃんは説を調べました。僕も説を調べたよ。結果は一緒だった。説は人間で間違いない。
Man,
それって。
なんだどういうことだよ。
わからないのかい。今エンジニアは2人とも説を人間と判定したんだよ。
so you just outed.
つまり説は人間で間違いない。
You just outed fucking.
ということは
シャーミンがグノーシアか。ウェイウェイウェイ、間違いの可能性もあんだろうがよ。本物のエンジニア
No, that's.
出てないとかよ。
だとしたらエンジニアは両方ともグノーシアということになる。あり得ると思うかい。
いや、
Remember, Comet said she is.
擁護すると仲間だと。
Yes, you can intervene. It's over.
しょうがねえな。
Groveling again? That's not gonna work. Yeah, it's not gonna work a second time, even though you don't realize the second time.
僕のせいだ。説にすれば
果たして僕とコメットが仲間だと思われるのも危険だ。
無理だよ。ラキオやユリコが嘘を見破ろうと変な質問してくるんだ。
Yeah, and it's rough that
言っただろ。
you have Rakio and Yuriko both there. Probably your two of your stronger players,
今想定される
with Setsu being a super strong player as well.
嘘をつくのが苦手。
So use that to your advantage.
俺がどうかした？
ある。僕たちのミスを逆転の手札にする方法が。
It's so good and also
消されたのは茂道か。
fun
取るに足らぬ存在です。
to see how good Yuri's gotten as a player in this
じゃあ
game.
始めようか。まず私が報告するよ。ドクターとしてシャーミンを調べた。
グノーシアで確定しているはず。なぜ投票しなかったんだい。
それは
That was day one, I thought.
さすがラキオ。きちんと論理的におかしいところをついて。
No, that was okay. That wasn't.
でも
day
だ
one.
からこそ騙せる。僕も実は同じことを思った。あそこで説を人間判定したらシャーミンがグノーシアで確定する。もしコメットがグノーシアだとしたらわざわざ自ら仲間を撃ったことになる。
I see the five head move, Yuri. I see it.
何か狙いがあるのかとも思ったけど、いくら考えてもグノーシア側にメリットはなくて。
つまりコメットはグノーシアではない。
I see the five head move
もしかしてスキューちゃん。
because they literally said we're going to use Comet's lie against them. Oh man, brilliant play, Yuri. Brilliant. I applaud you. And they took out Rakio. Smart. And they win. They pretty much won, yeah.
これでこの宇宙船はコメットのものだ。
Now what happens
どこに行
though?
きますか船長。
そうだな。おい手下。はっ。一緒
That's
に
cute.
冒険してくれる？
Unfortunately, Yuri
も
can't
ちろん。
because they loop.
ユーリも僕と同じだな。嘘をつくのが下手だ。
Yeah.
見抜くのは得意って言っただろ。
この船を乗っ取って宇宙を一緒に冒険しよう。
最初に言った時にもう分かってる。
Yeah, that's what.
どうしてそんな嘘つくの？
Are you gonna tell the truth, Yuri?
違う、嘘じゃない。ただ
ユーリ好き。
Aw. Oh.
今の嘘ってバレた？
ああ、
そうなんだよな。嘘って分かるだけで本心は分からない。
You can just it
ユーリが
happen to know it's a lie.
ないことは分かっても理由は分からない。だから言うね、僕の本心。好きじゃなくて
I love you.
大好き。
That's actually really sweet. Oh, this is the new ED we get. That's cool. Remember, I thought last episode was that a special one-off ED, or is it a new the new ED going forward? But I guess it's right now the new ED. Yeah, another fantastic fucking episode. We can say, right? I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. I fucking love how good Yuri has gotten in this game. Started from the bottom, now they're here. Way to know your teammate and fix the situation they put themselves in. Unfortunately, Xiaoming got taken out. And that's why I was saying before, like in several episodes ago, I was like, who's to say another Gnosia doesn't throw another one of their kind under the bus? Right? And they're not supposed to, like, the whole idea is, no, you're not going to, because they're comrades in arms, yada, yada, yada. But if I'm trying to survive, I'm going to do what I can to win, right? You just got to do it the most logical way without having any issues, yada, yada, yada. I'm trying to think where I want to hit up next here. If no one caught my comment from last episode, I thought that was a different silver key with the Gnosia. It's just more clear here. It's red, so it's easier to see compared to the other way. I kind of looked at the picture of the other silver key with the whole snake eating its tail, or Ouroboros thing there. So interesting that. Oh man, I guess what I want to go over first is really in the end, the Gnosia are like the silver keys, right? Very much like the silver keys. They're not sentient. They're just there. Like they've said before, the Gnosia, they don't change somebody's personality. They're not an extra alternate version of you. They're not a brain worm telling you to burn the building or do things. In the end, you could probably assume they're a parasite, and they just want to survive. Like anything in the world, biology, they just want to survive and continue on and advance the species, so to speak. Interesting, because I thought maybe we'd get a little more of like what the Gnosia actually are. Maybe that'll be later, but right now, they're just like the silver keys in my mind, just something that's there and not sentient enough to actually do things, to change things. And that's why I've always said, well, the Gnosia, maybe they're not as bad as we assume that them to be, that they are to be. Same thing. I don't think the silver keys are as bad as I thought they would be, or the silver keys. I thought the silver keys were also nefarious. There still could be the case, but I'm leaning a little bit away from that now until we get more information besides them just being a data bank. Because in my mind, there's got to be a bigger reason why the silver keys are collecting information. Granted, that could just be like, no, they just collect information. Fair enough, if that's the case. I mean, also super interesting for me when they took out Atome. Also, shout out, Xiaoming really does care about Atome. If we got that That's a shot right here. Because we got that based off the speech Otome gave him in one of the loops, like the last loop, really, about 2 loops ago, about what it means to be human, yada yada yada, and all that stuff, and it affected Chiming, and he does care for her. It's a weird shot. I click away. I do not like seeing Yuri like that. It just feels off for me. Yeah. So this is interesting here. I just assume they just murdered somebody, but the presence thing makes more sense now. No, get away. So what did they do? What happened? It's like Atome got erased from existence. Now this goes back to the whole idea of like Gina does not want her soul to go anywhere. So are they pushing the soul somewhere? Like we're kind of thinking they are. Like here, it's coalescing into this black hole thing, and it disappears. It's also very interesting that they're walking in the middle of the warp. I wonder if it's time dilation with them or something. It would make sense if they could do something with the soul. But they are literally deleted from existence. And, you know, it's almost like I said, similar to silver keys. Silver keys will leave this plane of reality after they're filled up. To me, the Gnosia sends somebody off to another reality almost. That could be a thing. Maybe, excuse me, maybe the Gnosia also go off to another dimension or send somebody to another dimension, very much how the silver keys hop dimensions. That's the whole point is there's several, like Yuriko has said, Rakio has said before, there are several different beings in this world that can basically time hop / dimension hop / reality hop. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. It was good to get a cool perspective on this. And I do like the callback from Setsu telling Yuri, hey, whatever role you're given, play it to your best of your abilities. And I'm curious who voted for. I assume it was Setsu the first time, or Rakio the first time that voted for Yuri, because I was overplaying a little bit of this look that Setsu gave Yuri. Made me think maybe, especially when they were doing the "I'm human" thing, that maybe Setsu had the similar ability of seeing the lies through. Is it? Yeah, because there was a point where Comet looks to. Here it is. Yeah, the nod. Okay, that could be just my perspective then. Never mind. I thought that was way too side-eyed, and I thought maybe Rakio had caught the little nod thing. Granted, that could be just for the audience, but yeah, there's no where Rakio wouldn't have mentioned that if they would have caught that. But also, it could be the fact that they didn't have enough logical. Remember, they're very logical, so. So I was overplaying that one a little bit. I was cooking a little too much with that. I just assumed that Rakio had caught that side glance. But at this point, I think you can consider Yuri one of the stronger players now. Definitely after how they were able to manipulate the situation to their advantage. Shigemichi also needs a W. Poor guy. Just keeps losing. Gina also, man. Gina has been taking L's and L's and L's. SQ as well. Yeah, so Yuri got voted for there. And I assume that was Setsu, but I could be wrong. I also thought that maybe, granted, this was all about learning more about Comet, right? Filling the silver key up. And we've learned a lot about Setsu already. But I almost assumed that Yuri would tell Setsu, hey, I'm the Gnosia, just as much as Setsu told Yuri that in one of those loops that they were the Gnosia. That could eventually happen, right? Because now with this episode, this opens up the whole, like, whenever we wake up from a loop, are we just going to be like, hey, right? Also, side note, how does, because I mean, they've won a loop before. Does Yuri just wake up the next day in a different timeline since they didn't die? I assume that's the case, right? I'm still sus of Levi. I don't know. I'm just always going to have that weird feeling with the AI system until we get more information. Granted, the rumor still is 21 episodes. I don't see it confirmed yet. They could be if it's been confirmed, but it makes sense that this would be because now with this is being episode 9, you would want to widen down your season if this was the case. But if it's 21 consecutive episodes, good shit. Still nothing more on what happened with Kushrika from last arc, so that'll be a plot point going forward. That almost feels like in visual novels, right? Where you get this like little loop here with this little tidbit of things, but to actually know what happens, you kind of have to get like a true ending sort of thing with it. Like if you want to know everything, you have to get the true ending, and maybe Krishka's whole thing could be part of a true ending route, possibly. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. That's what my gut feeling is telling me, at least. Love seeing SQ again. We haven't had a lot of her. Still need to know her stuff. Because really, we got a lot of comment. Comet's story is effective and simple. They were lonely, isolated child. They're thrown down to this cave, seeing people die because of this bacteria. If you live through it, great. But what else are you going to do? You really can't be with anybody because the bacteria will probably kill you. Also, I probably would still risk it for the biscuit, yo. But her seeing into space. And I almost thought Yuri was just going to sacrifice himself to make sure that Comet could make it. But if Yuri would have sacrificed themselves, Comet would have been outed so fast. Because she just can't. She's not a good liar, like she said. I'm starting to get a sense of who the strongest players are. I mean, granted, this could change per loop, but Yuri definitely one of the strongest at this point. They've learned so much. Setsu, of course, Rakio, and Yuriko. Who else would I put up there? Out of everyone we've met so far, those are the strongest players. Just because the others haven't had much time to show how strong of a player they can be. But usually anybody with logical thinking, right? But it feels like we got a lot out of Comet, like I said. So Comet might not be a person in the forefront for at least the next few episodes. I think we still haven't got a lot of Yuriko yet. We haven't really got too much of Rakio just yet either. We haven't had a social link established with those two that much. Just can't wait for that. Kushrika as well. Renmin still has some more we have to get through, even though we know their whole thing with being stalked by this weird yandere chick. Who now I'm starting to lean more as like, is Kushrika this yandere chick that, or maybe it's a parasite that affected the yandere chick and went into Kushrika to find Remnin for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm starting to cook a little too much and starting to go on weird rant tangents and stuff. But overall, this episode, solid again. I say this once, I say this 1,000 times. This is a show that I am looking forward to on a weekly basis to watch. Every character is interesting and unique. And I love the stories. Comments was super simple but effective and worked so well for her. It helps she's cute, of course. That's always going to be a plus, but it works. She's a bad liar. She stumbles a lot over her words, and she wants to be a captain. Effective, and it works. You don't need to be super complicated, right? I think Setsu's like a super complicated one with the whole military background. Rakio's is probably pretty complicated. Yuriko's is probably pretty complicated, but you don't need everyone to be a complicated story. You just don't. Just don't. But yeah, I'm sure I missed other things, but interesting. Hope we get more episodes with the Gnosia focused. Hope we get more episodes of Silver Key focused too. But I guess let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. And what if we get a route or a loop where Yuri wakes up as an android connected to Levi as an AI thing, like Stella was? Ooh, I'd be interested in that one too. That's the great thing about the show, dude. Definitely one of the best of the season. But yeah, like I said, let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you in another action. Peace.